I know street politics better than I know sweet politics. I know how to touch people where they live, work, play, and pray. But I cannot do it. I cannot help a candidate, Joe, if I don't have the resources. If I cannot spend the resources that the party is raising, because there's a blind agreement between a campaign.
All right, joining us now with reaction, former White House Special Counsel to the President, Lanny Davis is back, sir. Former National Justice Director for Bernie Sanders, Teslin Figaro is with us, and former Clinton pollster, Fox News contributor, Doug Schoen. Teslin, I want you to address Lanny. I've known Lanny for years. He's probably the biggest, best BFF friends with Hillary Clinton. Donna Brazile used the word rigged.
And Sean Hannity.
Okay, fair point. We get along really well. What do you have to say to him as a Bernie supporter about knowing that it was rigged and you were disenfranchised?
Yeah, I watched the interview this morning with Donna Brazile, and she, tried to, kind of use the word cancer instead of rigged. And, I was sitting there watching, saying, no matter what word we use, cancer, leukemia, lupus, whatever you want to call it, thumb on the scale, the bottom line is it was rigged. It was tipped in their favor. And in order to really move forward as a party, every day that we continue to keep denying the obvious fact that there was an agreement that was made outside of the fundraising agreement that said that they had total control of strategy, you will continue to see people, not just Bernie Sanders supporters, but those who actually believe in this American Democrat process, that will continue to be offended by the audacity of those who are trying to spin this into something else other than the truth, which is it was rigged in Hillary Clinton's favor long before she became the nominee.
Lanny, respond to that.
Well, Hillary Clinton defeated a person I respected greatly, Bernie Sanders, by 4 million votes.
She cheated.
A majority of elected delegates.
She controlled the DNC.
She defeated by you can use adjectives like rigged or whatever. And I've talked with Donna
words,
today.
The Democrat, the head of the DNC's words, not mine.
Hey, Sean, you didn't interrupt my distinguished friend.
I'm helping you out. I'm educating the audience.
4 million votes more were cast for Hillary Clinton than for Bernie Sanders, and she won a majority of elected delegates. And the DNC memo that I respect Donna very much, and she was offended by that agreement. I assure you there's nobody rational who will say that agreement is why Hillary Clinton defeated Bernie Sanders by 4 million more votes than he got.
You're playing a game with the American people. In order to win super delegates, those people had power to make a decision. I worked on the ground, sir, and super delegates had powers to tell their communities, the communities that trusted these super delegates, to tell people which way to go. When you have a sitting commissioner in a town that's saying, I support Hillary Clinton, naturally her voters are going to follow that super delegate.
Let me bring in Doug Schoen.
To sit up and play a game, to play a game as if you don't understand.
Hang on, we got to get everyone in. Doug,
hang on, guys. 4 million more votes.
Okay, but she cheated.
4 million more lives.
She controlled hiring.
4 million.
Hang on, Lanny. She controlled personnel. She controlled the purse strings. They had a secret agreement. They've all been out there lying. Sanders signed the same agreement. Lie. They've been saying the Clinton DNC agreement will only apply to the general, not the prime. Lie. They say that evidence has emerged that the content of WikiLeaks documents, emails were doctored. Lied. They all lied.
Sean, this is all rotten. This isn't about, oh, it was 4 million votes or this. It was a basically corrupt deal used to give her a massive leg up, as Teslin says, on superdelegates, on message, and most of all on fundraising. I think while we're here, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that there was this dossier, $13 million. How did it get paid for? What did it come up with? We need a special prosecutor.
I'm looking, by the way, Melania Trump will go keep that up on the screen live in China. You need a special prosecutor. Lanny, look, I love you, but you've got to. As an American, hang on, well, you know what I mean. I don't really love you. I like you as a friend. But you have got to say here that when Hillary Clinton, now it's rigged, and she signs a special agreement, she's in control of hiring, she's in control of money, she's in control of personnel, and all of that was said. That's rigging. That is disenfranchising. She, all that super, we all knew she rigged it. And I know you like her. I know you're friends with her. I know you love the Clintons. But when you're disenfranchising Americans like Teslin and Doug Schoen and others that really wanted Bernie to win, and then you're trying to do the same thing in the general election, bought and paid for Russian lies, you got to say, Lanny, you got to say the Clintons are just crooked. Corrupt.
And then to spend it now is just a damn shame. I mean, let's just be honest about it. It's a damn shame anybody that tries to
And I was for her in the primary, Sean, and I moved away from her because I couldn't stand what I was seeing.
All right, let's get Lanny in. He's going to yell at me in a minute.
No, Doug Schoen and I are old friends, and we have some disagreements, but I just stay with facts. I didn't mention superdelegates. I mentioned average people across the country. 9 out of 10 African Americans voted for Hillary Clinton at the ballot box. The DNC didn't influence 4 million more people to vote for her than Bernie Sanders.
Sir, you
the people spoke, and then the party came together. What happened last night in Virginia is what
No, sir, I'm sorry. Let's roll the tape. You said the majority. Yeah. Go ahead, be quiet then. Feel free to be quiet.
I said 4
you
million.
Said the majority of superdelegates. No, sir, I'm sorry. Let's roll the tape.
No, I
you said the
elected.
majority of superdelegates. No. You said the majority of superdelegates, over 1/3, voted for Hillary Clinton. Yes, you did.
Elected.
And that is the reality. 1/3 of superdelegates voted for Hillary Clinton because they were told to. Period. End of discussion.
She won a majority of elected delegates. That's a fact. I know that makes you unhappy.
Because they were told to. That's a fact.
Doug, do you disagree with that fact?
I was on the ground working. They were told to. That was a fact.
What I would say is she won the nomination. If I could finish, Lanny, please. She won the nomination. The game was rigged. The Russian dossier stinks. I moved away. I said there'd be a constitutional crisis if she was elected. We're effectively having one without her being in the Oval Office. All I say, if we're going to look at the Russian deal on the Republican side, look at it on the Democratic side. What's wrong with that, Sean?
What's wrong with that, Lanny? Let Lanny answer. What would be wrong with looking at these very issues? Because she bought and paid for Russian lies that were meant to impact the American people and may have been used to cause a judge to make a decision for a FISA warrant and surveillance on the opposition party. We'll find out soon if that's true, but I suspect it might have been used as evidence.
First, as you know, Sean, I am interested how moving away, Doug, has changed when I say a fact and he doesn't address whether it's a fact or not.
I said what you were saying were facts,
so I only
but there were larger issues, Lanny, of corruption.
And Hillary Clinton was the popular leader and victor. What happened to the DNC, I respect Donna Brazile. She felt, she said to me today, disrespected, and I honor her feelings. We've been friends for 30 years. But she also said that agreement didn't affect 4 million people more than Bernie Sanders won, 9 out of 10 African Americans, and elected,
that's not what she
elected delegates.
Let me go to another. Hang on, let me bring up one other thing.
Well, I have Lanny. Those are all facts.
All right, let me. Well, we just disagree to disagree, all of us. But But the audience can decide. Let me bring this up, Lanny. Do you know that America doesn't have enough uranium? America has to import uranium. In 2009, our government, that means our FBI, they had an informant, and they discovered a network of Vladimir Putin thugs, the hostile regime of Russia, the unsavory character Vladimir Putin. That Vladimir Putin had people using bribery, extortion, money laundering, and kickbacks, and also racketeering, so that he could gain a foothold in the uranium market in America. Mueller knew it, and so did Eric Holder. Eric Holder, like Hillary, signed off to give 20% control of America's uranium, the two of them, 2 of 9, to Vladimir Putin. At the time, Bill Clinton's speaking fees doubled, and then 145+ million associated with people that benefited from that deal got kicked back to the Clinton Foundation. Why? Can you answer a simple? Why would America that needs to import uranium ever have, with knowing what they knew about crimes, ever sign off on a deal that gave control to Russia? Why would you ever do that?
Let me give you 3 facts. Number 1, the deal would not allow any export of any U.S. uranium.
It's happened already. It's been trucked to Canada.
It's happened.
It's happened. It's happened.
Fact.
Second fact. That's a fact.
Excuse me.
Second fact.
Lanny, I'll bet you $10,000 for your favorite charity. It went to Europe, it went to Canada, and it probably went to Asia.
Yeah, those are facts.
It's been reported.
They coupled with a trucking company. You got to keep up with the news, Lanny.
I said
Go ahead.
If you're not allowing me to speak, then no one's going to understand all my great facts.
Go ahead.
Second fact, the Utah Nuclear Regulatory Commission, Utah, conservative Republicans approved the deal. Third fact, 18 federal agencies approved the deal. And Hillary Clinton had nothing to do with the approval.
How do you explain?
As a matter of fact, if you include the Nuclear Regulatory Agency,
how do you explain?
If
Isn't
you
it a
include
conflict
the CIA,
of interest,
the
though?
Defense Department, the Treasury Department, the Commerce Department, and the Utah Nuclear Regulatory Commission, all conservative Republicans approved the deal.
I agree with you.
Just get an independent look.
Lanny, here's some other facts.
Special prosecutor with all these people part of the vast left wing, the Utah Regulatory Commission, Doug.
Why
all Republicans
hang on. Why at the time?
I'd like to know. Let's investigate.
Let's investigate. Why at the time, Lanny?
Investigate the Utah Regulatory Commission.
Sure, why not? Investigate them all.
Why at the time? Why at the time did Bill Clinton double his speaking fees? Why at the time? Why afterwards did they get $145 million kicked back to the Clinton Foundation? And why doesn't Hillary at least give that money back? And why don't we hire the special counsel to be fair and balanced? And we have a special prosecutor. Dianne Feinstein said on Sunday, no evidence of Trump-Russia collusion. They've been at this a year with zero evidence. Yet she paid for a dossier, bought and paid for Russian lies to rig the general election to the American people. And then she gets all this money she signed off on, her department, on Russian uranium that did leave the country. Why would anyone give away uranium when we don't have enough?
Listen, I know this upsets you when I do facts and you do rhetoric.
Are you calling me a liar, Lanny?
I
gave you facts.
No, I just stick to.
Tell me one thing I said that's not true.
Your logic is the following: the rooster crows and the sun rises. Therefore, the rooster causes the sun to rise.
Very cute.
That's your
and by the way,
I don't buy that.
By the way,
I don't buy that logic, but some people do.
You sound so clear.
Well, guess what some people also do? It's also called the chickens come home to roost.
Where'd that come
at the
from?
bottom line, since you're bringing up roosters, let's talk about the chickens coming home to roost as well. It's okay, Lanny. Poor Lanny. He's delusional. I get it. It is a good line, and it's also very true. And I know it hurts. You know, Halloween is over. Take the costume off. It's over. Take the Clinton costume off. We've been tricked and we've been treated. So at the end of the day, it's over with. It's over. Get over it. We're all going to heal. We're all going to move forward. Yeah, I do have some awesome lines, to be quite honest with you, but it's also the fact. Let's just go ahead and admit.
I like that. I like that.
Hey, Doug, I think go ahead, Tesla. Go ahead. I think at the end of the day, whether Lanny likes it or not, there's going to be a special prosecutor. There's going to be a special counsel appointed in all this. And I would say, and Lanny is a good lawyer. I give him a lot of credit on that.
He's a good advocate.
But let me tell you, he's got to know that, it's like Bill Clinton said, we were alone, but I never really thought we were alone. Oh, okay. You didn't know?
To me, this is real simple. There are questions that beg answers. $13 million went from Perkins Coal out for this dossier, and nobody knows where the money came from. Let's investigate. What did Steele get? What did the Russians get? What money was paid?
All right,
let's answer.
Let's all speak at once now. One at a time. Lanny, hang on. I got a question. Lanny, I got a question. Okay. Hillary Clinton, Lanny, we now know that Hillary Clinton paid for the lying, salacious dossier. She paid, and the DNC that she ran paid. She paid $9 million from her campaign. Now, and she even admitted it. It was full of lies. It was full of salacious lies. It was full of Russian lies, propaganda, disinformation. Hillary Clinton's campaign paid for it. Why don't we do what Doug said and investigate and find the truth? Why would you be against that?
It's pretty simple, Lanny. Let's investigate. You're a fair-minded man.
I don't know what that has to do with. I don't know what that has to do with the tsunami that occurred against Donald Trump last night in Virginia.
It doesn't have anything to do with the tsunami. It does have everything to do with right, reason, and responsible government.
And so many.
It's just the right thing to do.
You and I can talk
Democrats
over each other.
did win.
Hang on, Lanny. Why don't we just hire? Why don't we find the truth out? Why did she? Here's my simple question: why would Hillary pay for a lying dossier from this group with Russian misinformation? That's right, the lying Russian dossier with salacious lies that tried to influence our election.
Salacious, is that a factor or an adjective?
Well,
this is Sean Hannity's
salacious being the report said Donald Trump was in the Ritz with 2 hookers peeing in the bed. That's the lie that was spread. Sorry to be so honest.
Is that what you mean by salacious? I'll tell you what's a fact. Virginia tsunami last night. You're in big trouble,
You're
Sean.
a talking point,
We'll have
Lanny. You're on
another
the road.
4 years from now.
I mean, we're talking about what happened and what may have been done that was wrong. Let's investigate. Sure, Lanny, the Democrats did win in Virginia. That is a fact, but it has nothing to do with this conversation.
By the way, Trump didn't win Virginia. He didn't win New Jersey. He didn't win Washington.
It's a tsunami against
Let's talk
Donald
about
Trump.
this.
A repudiation of Steve Bannon's economic
You haven't
nationalism
answered my
last night
question.
in Virginia.
Why
9 percentage
Because he can't
points.
answer.
Why did Hillary pay? Hang on. Why did Hillary pay $9 million for what turns out to be Russian lies to influence the American electorate in this country? Russian lies, and she even admits it.
If you don't interrupt me, I will give you the answer.
I'm waiting.
The investment made in opposition research by both the Trump campaign, which happened to have Donald Trump Jr. saying, "I love it," when meeting with a Russian agent within a few floors of his dad, and paying for a research dossier that contains some elements of truth and some elements not of truth. One is collusion with the Russian government because there was an agent in the room. The other is paying for opposition research. Now, those are facts that distinguish the two, but you may not agree with that.
And they both require investigation. Let's be fair, Lanny. You're a fair man. Let's go investigate and see what the real truth is on the uranium deal.
All right, let's go back to Tesla. Let's go back to Tesla. Go ahead.
I appreciate you calling me a fair man, Doug. That's
you
a
are.
very nice thing.
You are a fair man, and I think what he's saying is if there's nothing to hide, there's nothing to see here, let's open up the box and let's see. Let's open up Pandora's box and see. There's enough investigation to go around. There's enough indictments to go around. Let's go ahead and see what happened. Let's see what happened with the DNC as well. Let's open up the books. Let's see what Donna's talking about. She talks about this cancer. Let's get to the bottom of it. You know, let's look for a healing process. I just don't think you're doing any Democrats, you're not doing the party any favors by continuing to spin this into anything other than the truth.
Lanny, let me ask
Here's
a question.
what Donna told me today.
Let me ask a question another way.
I'll tell you what Donna told me on the phone today. What Donna said today is that she had deep feelings, that offended feelings that I feel badly about. She's been a great friend of mine for many years. She also said that what happened at the DNC did not influence the result of Hillary Clinton winning
That's speculation.
a large margin of popular votes and elected
Counselor, that would be speculation.
That's what Donna Brazile said to me today. That
she said to you, but she said in her book rigged. But let's put that aside. Let me ask you this.
Well, that's
so. Put on your legal.
She had deep feelings that were offended.
Come on, you help me out here. Put on your legal hat for a second. 2009, we had an FBI informant that was able to penetrate an effort by Vladimir Putin to corner a part of our uranium market. They discovered, based on emails, documents, and tape recordings, and him being inside the network, they discovered bribery, extortion, racketeering, money laundering, and kickbacks occurred. This is what they discovered. Robert Mueller was the FBI director in 2009. This is before the 2010 Uranium One deal. Why would Robert Mueller be allowed to investigate? As you can see, by the way, there's the First Lady, Melania Trump, in China as we speak in Beijing, which is beyond historic, which we also should be talking about. Why would Robert Mueller have any moral authority, and why doesn't he have to recuse himself with anything Russia? Because he knew what Putin was doing. He knew the crimes that were being committed in our country, and he didn't obviously lift a finger to stop it and stop the uranium deal when that was the whole goal of Putin from the beginning. Put your legal hat on. This isn't about Hillary.
So let me respond. Let me respond. The last time I heard Donald Trump describe Putin, he described him as a great man, Russia as a great country.
You're ducking.
And his son was meeting with a Russian governmental agent.
You say answer the question,
he's very
Lanny.
soft on all these people that you call Russian extort. I just did. If Robert Mueller is supposed to investigate as the FBI director, he had nothing to hold him back from investigating.
That's
why we need a special prosecutor.
I know that this president praises all these Russian thugs that you have described. The president of the United States today talks about Vladimir Putin.
All right, you give me another answer. Let me ask another question. Do you think it's unethical that Bill Clinton,
quoting the president,
two legal questions, really simple. Was it unethical that Bill Clinton met with Loretta Lynch just days before her decision on a tarmac for a private meeting? That's number one. And was it unethical of James Comey to write an exoneration of Hillary before he even did the investigation and interviewed the key?
Grossly negligent.
Yeah, and using the word. Is that ethically wrong, Lanny? I know you love the Clintons, but you got to, at some point, step out of your partisanship here. Tell the truth. Is Loretta Lynch wrong?
If you ask the question and answer the question.
Yes, answer both questions.
The answer is no. They talked about grandchildren and nothing else, nothing unethical in that.
You believe that?
And,
I don't.
Well, that's what both of them said. But yes, both
I
of them
did not
said
have
that.
sex with that woman, not one time. They're known for lying.
You asked me a question about Jim Comey. Let's talk about that. What I just heard Doug say, now we can all agree. James Comey acted unethically to offer his opinion on Hillary Clinton as the head of a FBI. What he did was a firing offense. He had no right to offer an opinion of the evidence.
Fair answer. Why is it?
Her.
How do you? How come?
And it is the one thing that you'll hear more from me about is James Comey's lack of judgment and ethics. I would agree.
Why do you believe the guy that said, I did not have sex with that woman not a single time, lied to our face? Hillary has lied for a year about the dossier. Why should we believe the Clintons? Why do you believe the Clintons with their history of lies? They lie a lot, Lanny, and they've been caught a lot.
Well, compared to the President of the United States, who I think we're up to over 1,000 lies currently.
Sean, to me it's simple.
This is the man who said the biggest inauguration crowd in the history of America. So the answer is that Bill Clinton apologized to the American people.
But he lied.
And
you admit he lied, right?
Trump has never apologized once for all of his lies.
Special
he apologized,
for both.
and Donald Trump can't say the words, I'm sorry for lying. So that's your answer.
All right, that's
Hillary
your answer
Clinton
to everything.
did not
Donald Trump. I didn't ask you
about the
Donald
dossier, and
all right.
that's my answer.
Lanny, thank you. You're a good sport.
Thank you,
Lanny. Great to see you.